Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for all the amazing questions, and let's get started. So before I even start the video, I would like to thank every one of you for the 1,000 subscribers mark. And from the day I started YouTube, I don't know why I wanted the 1,000 subscribers mark, just because it's 1,000 is like a milestone. And then I told some of you guys that I'll get a mic when I reach 1,000 subscribers, and now I think that I'm 1,000 subscribers and I will invest some money to YouTube. I'll get myself a mic so my audio sounds better. This hopefully is like the last video where I have audio that's pretty bad. With that being said, let's get to the first question of the day. It says, your motivation to start powerlifting. So I started working out, going to the gym from when I was 16. So I started powerlifting quite late. So it was, I think, 2015 when I was like 19, 18, 19. In the age I started powerlifting. But then before I started powerlifting, I was already motivated to work out, like going to the gym, trying out different diet plans, trying out different exercise routines. So I was always on the hunt to try and make myself better. So I was already extremely motivated. I had like good physique already to start with. And yesterday, trying to find out the secret diet chart, diet plan, I came across this video on bodybuilding.com by Lane Norton. How to squat बनने video थियो. So that was the first time I got to know about powerlifting, and then I really liked the video, but then more importantly, I liked Lane Norton as how smart he was, and then he had squatted the world record at the time, 303 kilos, and then I really liked the man's personality. I liked the way he talked. He was so confident about what he said. And then later I found out that he was a power lifter, and then I thought you can be so jacked, you can be so strong, and you can eat a lot of food, and then you can look like that. But so I really started liking Lane Norton as a person at the time, and then I started following his stuff, and that's how I got to know about powerlifting in the first place. त्योभन्दा अगाडि नेपालमा त nobody एउटा पनि powerlifter थिएन that I knew of at the time, and then that's how I got into powerlifting. अनि मेरो जिममा पनि there was no power rack. So म भेकेसनमा हङकङ गएको थिएँ, सबै कुरा टाइमिङ मिल्यो, and then I saw a power rack over there, and I couldn't squat at all. I couldn't even hit depth. And then I found this Lane Norton guy so khatra. And then when I came back to Nepal, I found a gym. I looked for a gym with a power rack, and then I started squatting, and that's how I got into powerlifting. How my introduction to powerlifting was. Uh, and then I did my own stuff, did bodybuilding, a little squat, and then slowly deadlift, bench press, and it's a sport now. And then I started looking up at all his videos, and then learned from there. Uh, up until pump play first competition गर्यो, it was a very small competition they did आफ्नै मेम्बर्सहरूलाई मात्रै, and pump was the gym where I started squatting सुरुमा है. So त्यहाँनिर they had a competition more, अर्को एउटा दाइ हुनुहुन्थ्यो, दुईजना भएको competition I competed, and then त्यो competition को video चाहिँ I had posted on Instagram, which some of you guys probably have seen, where I squatted 180 kgs or something like that. So त्यो video हालेपछि I came across Jack Singh Dai, who is a mentor, who's been a mentor to me ever since. And we spoke to each other, and then I found out he does powerlifting, and he's a lot stronger than me. And then I thought I could learn something from him, so we met up, and then he showed me the basic principles of strength training, and how the technique is done, and कस्तो खालको training गर्छ, all the sort of things. So Nepali मान्छेमा चाहिँ my motivation was because of Jack Dai, because he uh what do you say, he helped me become better in some way. And then he really motivated me, and then he had plans for me, and then it slowly built from there. And then I started learning myself about how to do things, and that was my motivation to start powerlifting. So I just wanted to get strong and be like Lane Norton. So that was my motivation. All right, and then it's been ever since. I love the sport now more than I have ever loved it, and then I just Love the sport, man. It's just so simple and so much fun to me. Okay, our question comes from Jagda himself. Do you get good steaks in Thailand? I don't know what's the steaks is like a really good steak because all I've had so far is Nepal my matre खाएको and then मलाई steak fever भएको पनि it's just been like 1.5 year and then I haven't really traveled so much in the time so Thailand steaks are better than it is in Nepal so I think it's pretty good. अर्को
Our question comes from Susi, I think Sue underscore SIIL. So he asks, do you get any lower back pain after deadlift? If you do, how do you deal with it? Peace, brother. Right. So lower back pain after deadlifts is a very common thing for most people. Just because it is a lower back exercise, like when you do or when you do dumbbell flies, like I never hear anybody complaining about how sore their chest is. Mostly positive. That when it comes to squats, when it comes to knees, and when it comes to lower back, people tend to like over exaggerate. I sometimes do get DOMs out of doing deadlifts, but then if you're having like a pain in your lower back, it's mostly got to do with your technique, or like if your leverages are really bad, as in like if you've got super long legs and short arms, and when you're deadlifting you're almost like in your back is in a straight angle like this, you might be putting more torque on your lower back. But then first thing, I want you to check your technique, talk to someone who knows what he's talking about, maybe do a form consultation online, or maybe just talk to a strength coach who knows what he's doing. Maybe send your video to me and I could review it for you. And how would you deal with it? So dealing with lower back pain, like I said, it's mostly technique. If your technique is correct and your leverages are decent, I would say it's mostly got to do with weakness in your entire core. So core, but it's not only the abs, not just the rectus abdominis, your six pack muscle, but then there are external obliques, internal obliques, tapai glutes, tapai erectors, tapai so many muscles, everything in the core. So it's got to do with some muscle weakness somewhere in those muscles. So you would want to train them separately, and you shouldn't be getting any more lower back pain, or probably, and if it's very serious, or like I say, it's out of my expertise, talk to a physical therapist. For me, sometimes when I do the psoas release, the psoas when the muscle which run deep in your hip flexor, your ab, like your belly button side, my deep muscle in the psoas, PSOAS, when you release it with a lacrosse ball or something big enough to hit the muscle there, foam roller sort of a thing, it may help. That was a pretty long question. I hope you get what I mean. How to gain muscle without any fat? Can you tell me some diet food? So there is no diet food. Let's get that out of the question, because everything has calories. Calories have protein, carbs, and fat. If you're eating within your caloric goals, you are good to go, let's say. So with that diet food out of the question, there are some foods that are richer in protein, and some foods that are richer in fat and even carbs. So like, how would you set your macro planning? So that is the question first, because ketogenic diets are there, paleo diets are there, vegan diets are there. There are diets where you just eat meat, and there are diets where most of your energy comes from carbohydrates, and some are fat. So you want to choose foods accordingly. So that is a completely another question. Here's the thing, if you are very skinny to start with, I would say don't consider like not getting fat, because you won't get so fat all of a sudden. And then if you are like already over 25% body fat, you would want to start a cut first, go somewhere to like a comfortable range, maybe like 10 to 15% body fat range. But I would say you want to maintain there for a while. If you're below 10-12% body fat, don't worry about gaining fat. You won't look fat, because as you start building muscle, everything comes in place. And if you're fat, first cut down to that level, then this you don't want to rush into the process of building muscle, because you can't force the muscle building process. You can force it, you can force train, you can do so many things forcefully which you're not comfortable, but then muscle is something which takes time to build, and you can't force it. So be on a slight surplus after you're on a decent body fat level, and do that for maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 months depending on where you start and what fat is for you, and cut back again and keep doing the same process again and again and again. So that's basically it.
Orko question says, how to increase deadlift, squats, and bench press? I have problems in increasing the weight. If you've got problem increasing the weight, as in like, are you still progressing on a week to week basis, or like every session may increase on the parabako? Okay. It depends. If you're like a beginner, you shouldn't be having problem increasing weight as long as your technique is fine. Uh, as long as your technique is fine. But then if you're more like of an intermediate lifter, which I suppose you are, you need to dive slightly more into programming, like having like a structured training approach so you never plateau. So, for example, Sunday, you're not training on Wednesday or Friday. On your second session, you want to train in like a different rep range and manage volume and intensity accordingly so you never stop progressing. But programming, I'm thinking about making another video, so I will hopefully cover it up that segment.
Hey, so many questions. Another question, tapai aile kun country ma hununcha? Very simple question. You probably already know because I talked about it agi nai pani. Thailand, I'm in Thailand, Bangkok. Arko question says, how skinny fat people gain muscles? Samartha 08. So how skinny fat people gain muscles? What is skinny fat? Skinny fat, in my knowledge, is someone who's naturally very skinny, like sano build ko huncha, ectomorph huncha ni, ectomorph type ko मान्छे हो, but then who has जसले चाहिँ आफ्नो metabolic rate, like work output कम गरिसक्यो, and then started to store fat, and then you don't look fat, but then you have like a small belly, and then you look chubby or something. So यस्तो people is considered skinny fat. So if you are skinny fat, and then you're like, mostly young people नै हुन्छ skinny fat, like barely बुढो मान्छेहरू skinny fat हुन्छ, they're like just fat. Like यस्तो skinny fat people नै, they end up being fat later. So just first thing, be more active, because तपाईको work output घटेर नै you're starting to put on fat, and then try to build a lot of muscle. Eat at a maintenance diet, so you don't want to be focusing on losing the fat first, then building muscle. Just you're a completely beginner, so you can lose body fat at the same time and build muscle at the same time. So follow something structured, train the basics, train hard, and results will come. It'll take some time, but then yeah, it'll come. I hope that answers your question. Alright, so I was recording the video on the phone आयो, and then it got cut रहेछ, and then I didn't even know because the phone was facing this side, and I spoke so much and it just got cut off. So I am doing the question and answers again. So I think I was in the question, how to program for competition prep, peak week and deload. So I was saying that everybody is so different, because I had replied to a comment pani अस्ति नै एउटा भिडियोमा. So everybody is different, and everybody requires like a different dose of volume, different dose of frequency, and different dose of intensity, and it may depend on so many things, like what do you say, age of the lifter, weight of the lifter, height of the lifter, training experience of the lifter, and how your job is, how active you are, and तपाईँको volume tolerances कस्तो छ, and so many other factors that you need to consider, because everybody is so different, and you can't really say this is the way to program and this is the only way that works. So tapai, you've got to experiment with yourself first, and then you've got to experiment with yourself first and slowly like keep adding or removing exercises that suit you and that don't suit you. For peak week and deload, what I normally do is I don't really change so much of the program, but then I remove the accessory work first. If you're training for powerlifting, I wouldn't do anything else but squat, bench press and deadlift for the peak week. Peak week or deload week भने चाहिँ एउटै हो है. So peak week or deload week ma I do the exact same thing. I remove the accessory work, and then because competition prep गर्नेको last week ma is most probably your heaviest week if you're training correctly, not on the peak week. So त्यो weekमा त्यो weekको intensity लाई चाहिँ I cut the volume into half. So if you're doing 6 sets of squats, maybe I'll just do 3 sets, but then I drop the volume. So if you're doing 6 sets at 95%, I would probably do 3 sets of 3 at around like 80 to 85%. So something of that sort. So I drop some intensity, but then drop the volume the most, and it progressively the intensity progressively reduces as from like Sunday अलिक heavy नै हुन्छ peak week को, but then as the meet comes I drop the intensity as well. And how to program for competition prep, like I said, so many factors, but then I'm thinking about doing like a video your topic ma because it'll take some time, definitely, but it'll take me some videos to break down the principles and show it to you guys how to apply it. So Arko question says, Hazur Moktan, Arko question, how to lose weight from initial phase. So initial phase one, like when you're starting out, how do you want to lose weight? Most of the people just overestimate how fat they are, even though they're so normal looking, and some people don't think they're fat even though they're really fat. So it's like, it depends where you're coming from. So I would just give this advice to a general person who is moderately overweight but then not extremely overweight. So, or this could be applied for extremely overweight people as well, but then not for people who think they're fat and they're actually not fat. So initial phase, now what you want to do is get into working out first, because that's the reason because not working out is the reason you're fat in the first place. Get into the habit of working out first. You don't want to go एकै दिनमा गएर your ultimate body बन्ने त it's next to impossible. So you want to get into the habit of working out first, maybe like 1-2 months later. You just get into the habit of working out, go into the gym, do something productive. Then I would say, like, in the same time, go from, because you're fat because you're eating all unhealthy meals, go from eating all unhealthy meals to at least one healthy meal a day, and then like slowly build it up. Maybe go up to 10 healthy meals a week, and then go from 10 healthy meals a week to like 40 healthy meals a month, or something like that, like something that would keep you motivated, and then you're on the right track. And then slowly, when you start getting some results, you get motivated yourself, and then you would want to learn more. You would start finding people who you would love to follow, who motivate you, people who help you get better, and then you meet a lot of people along the road, and then you get advice from everybody, and then you will have your own custom plan that works for you, and which will be a masterpiece, and you won't be fat anymore. Oof. So, Arko question, I've been in the gym for 6 years now. I see very slow progress on weights. Any help? So first thing, like, I don't know who you are, and where your numbers are, where your physique is, and how you do everything, how you structure your training program, how in tune you're with your body, and all those sort of things. I don't know. So because time cannot be a determinant factor for how advanced you are. So for example, I've seen people who claim to have been training for over 20 years, and they're still not an advanced athlete. Like, everybody would expect someone who's been training for 20 years to be like jacked, very strong, very high work capacity, very good work ethic. 20 वर्ष ट्रेन गरेपछि त you should have like the best body compared to anybody, so त्यस्तो एउटा हुन्छ. अनि and on the flip side, I've also seen some like very young guys who's just been training for 2-3 years, and then they look like they've been training since forever. Their strength numbers are out of the world and all those sort of things. So just saying 6 years will not guarantee that you're an advanced lifter or you're an intermediate lifter or a beginner lifter. But then 6 years, if you've been training, that's the amount of time that I have been training for. So to not see progress in weights every week is very common, because I also don't see progress in weight every week or every day. But it's a very long process. So when I look back 3 months, and now when I look at now how I'm doing now, I have progressed. So whether depends on how you're programming. So तपाईले randomly चेपाइतै गरिरहेछ and then suddenly you decide to test your squat someday and it hasn't gone up, well, it shouldn't be surprising at all. So I would say follow a plan, a structured training program. If you know how to do it, and if you don't know how to do it, find a coach, find someone who can help you, and you shouldn't be stopping your progress. But then slow progress, if you're like intermediate to an advanced lifter, it is just the way it is. Can't do anything about it. Keep grinding, and then slowly you'll see results when you look back 3, 6, 1 year back. And with that being said, I am taking more online clients at the moment just because I've got some free time here and there. Interested in hiring me as your coach, let me know. I don't really say I coach people online and I'm an online coach, all those sort of things. Most of the clients I ever got was people directly coming to me asking for help, and then my coaching, and then it's been a while and it's really fun. So I just want to open up if some of you guys, if you're interested, some help, let me know. But then like always feel free to reach out for anything. I will not charge you for that, obviously, like simple questions huncha. But then like some guys come to me and they say daimal training program banaidinna, which is something I cannot do. I could direct you to some templates and all those sort of things, but then I cannot make a training program for free because it takes time, and then weekly update liराख्नु पर्छ, and then I need to look at your videos, I need to talk to you, I need so many input from you. So if you're interested, let me know. And let's get to the last question of the day. I have achieved so much in such a young age. Which is first gym where you started from? So thank you, because I would take that as an compliment, because I've worked very hard to be where I am, and for everything that I've done is mostly the product of what I've done, like eating, training, sleeping, and like it sounds so simple, but then that's the thing I keep doing all the time. But then in terms of achievement, I don't necessarily think I've achieved so much yet, because I haven't competed outside of Nepal, and in Nepal powerlifting is still like a very small sport, which is definitely growing. Tara, most of the people know me as powerlifter, so that could be an achievement. But then I wouldn't say I've achieved so much, because I'm just here in Thailand. I will start competing in local competitions here and hopefully put Nepal's flag on the map. So then I would say I've achieved something when I win, if I hopefully win competitions in here and outside, like in the international stage. Which is the first gym you started from? So the first gym the first time I went into a gym was when I was 14. That was in Darjeeling. Mero high school ko gym थियो, local sano gym थियो. The instructor used to take classes and then we used to lift weights just for fun. So that was the first time I went to the gym. तर त्यसपछि नेपाल आएपछि I joined Jasmine, I joined The Pump, I joined Shapes. Shapes is like Moesor Daiko gym, Vijay Daiko gym. That's where I did, like that's where I progressed like the most in terms of training, because Jasmine ma power racket थिएन. I didn't do powerlifting there. So pump ma alili powerlifting garyo, and then shapes is where I did the most of powerlifting. And then त्यसपछि the gym khana ho, तपाईहरु सबैलाई थाहा छँदै छ. And now I'm training in Muscle Factory. It's like hardcore gym here in Thailand. So that's everything ajako question and answer ma. So thank you for all the amazing questions. Ani, I'm so sorry if I didn't answer your question because it was either repeated or like it didn't make so much sense to me to answer it in a video. A lot of people were trolling as well. I don't find it funny. Like, I responded to a few guys, like, not rudely, but then I was like, grow up, man, sort of a thing. Because I put it out there, you know. I was like, what's wrong with you, bro? Type and I've ignored all the trolls, and because I don't like it funny, I don't entertain it. And that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching the video up to the end. And what do you say, 1K is finally here. I will get a microphone and hopefully I will have better audio next time. So I'm going to the gym now. I will keep you posted on what my plans are, and I'll see you next time.